On today's video, it has finally happened. The biggest, strongest player in Rise of Kingdoms, Solimar, 400 million power strong, is about to get zeroed. Kingdom 93 found the opportunity, caught him offline, and this video has everything you need to know. The preparation, the rallies, the reports in full from Solimar's perspective, so you can see exactly how each rally hit, how much damage it did, how much effectiveness it had, everything and anything about the biggest zeroing in Rise of Kingdoms history to date in this video. So sit back, enjoy the video. YouTube, welcome back to Gekko Gaming. Solimar, 400 million power strong, 2.5 million deaths, 88 million kills, is about to meet Kingdom 93. That is right, I got pinged in the middle of the night. Listen, we're setting up 11 rallies. We want to get 11 rallies done, simultaneous rallies, and we're about to go zero out the biggest player in the game, Solimar. Now, Solimar has boatloads of troops. You can see right there his report, madness, insanity, and this was all about to come down on his head. The first rally is out by Kingdom 93, and this is a tank rally. What Kingdom 93 did is they ended up setting up 10 rallies, simultaneous rallies, where the first one was the tanky rally, the one that was full infantry, tanky commanders holding as much as they can, while the other rallies coming in around were coming in with heavy damage. Alexander's, 2 freaking Genghis Khans, 1 Edward, another Genghis Khan on its way, a YSG on the field as well. Everything 93 had to do to get the damage done as quickly as possible, while that first rally was chunking damage. That first rally, once you see the report, is having massive losses, but it is essentially tanking and allowing the rest of the rallies nearby to do as much damage as possible. All these rallies are now suffering from counter damage while doing direct huge damage to Solimar. What a crazy thing to coordinate. We're looking right now at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rallies, right? 9 or 10 rallies in there I'm seeing. Just complete madness. 4 Genghis Khans, 2 freaking 2 Alexanders, 1 Edward, 1 Richard, and 1 YSG on the field. And Solimar down over 30 million power in that first little bit alone. This first set of 10 rallies was just a crazy hit. These folks brought Solimar down a huge 4.182 million tier 5s. That is right. The moment that tank rally died off, all the other rallies got called off. That was the point to stop the first siege. And this guy dropped 49 million power. Oh my, 4.1, almost 4.1 million deads. Look at this report. All of those are rallies. Towards the end, someone got a little bit antsy and hit that solo hit. That hurt quite a bit for sure. But look at these rallies. First tank rally. Oh my goodness gracious. 1.16 million deaths against the less than 100k on Solimar's side. That was the tank rally. Bunch of tier 5 infantries in there, just holding on for dear life, while the rest of the rallies were the ones doing the damage. Let's show you guys on most of these rallies and most of these reports, all the combinations, all the levels of all these commanders. You can see whether they're expertised or not from the troop buffs. You can see a full range rally right here doing stupendous amount of damage onto Solimar. And again, these were 2 expertise commanders, both level 60, an Edward expertise on the field right there. The next hit by Javi right there was a full cavalry freaking Genghis Khan Saladin March of Madness doing the damage. 83,000 deads against the 500,000 on Solimar's side. and the damage keeps coming down. We're gonna keep seeing all the troops Solimar loses along the way. We're gonna look at both the sides of the rallies, the reports, at least in the first couple of reports. These three first sets of reports are just completely out of this world. You've never seen something like this on the one target. That is Solimar right there, eating all those rallies up. He had, at the beginning of all this charade, 35 million troops and not that many resources, to be honest. Not that many resources. So he's not going to lose that many resources, but those troops are all slowly and steadily dwindling down. As a matter of fact, while we are recording this commentary, he is still eating rallies. On my other monitor, I'm seeing him eat another set of rallies as he's dropping down below the 80 million power. That is right, below the 80 million power. We're still above the 200 right here. Boy, oh boy, rally after rally. What Kingdom 93 did was textbook on how to zero a big player. Every single player is zeroable. It doesn't matter what size you are. The real question is, how much firepower does the other side have to hit you with in one shot? Kingdom 93, one of the most overpopulated, overcrowded, and overpowered kingdom in the game, who are super well synchronized, realized Solimar is an easy target. They split up their power of insane amounts of individuals with insane amounts of rally commanders, insane amount of rally leaders, insane amount of troops and individuals available to play. They split up across 10 different alliances within Kingdom 93 and started up their rallies. Now, these folks reinforced and refilled these rallies probably a good 8 or 9 waves. But the thing here is, when you're hitting Solimar with 35 million tier 5s, but you're hitting him with 1 or 2 or even 3 rallies that have a total of 7-8 million tier 5s, the death and destruction is gonna be insane. But these guys didn't do it with 1 or 3 or 5 or 7 rallies. They went for 10. At some point in the next phase, you can see right here, even Dragothian from AOC joined the party. You can see his rally marching in, about to make it into this thing. And on his channel, he has his own perspective on how this went. So make sure you guys go check out his channel. Link again in the description down below for his channel. You'll find this video from his perspective. He joined up to help Kingdom 93. And there went the madness. This was the second set of rallies. Look at all those rallies. How do you even take this, right? With 10 rallies on Solimar, now the damage the 35 million troops are doing is split among 10 different rallies who are split among at least 70 to 80 players. So now it's not the 10 or 20 players trying to zero the one individual as he's coming down to dropping almost below the 300 mils. The big boy here is zeroing a big player requires a huge sacrifice, but the more players sacrifice, like Kingdom 93 are doing right there, the less the damage is meaningful per individual. Which means an alliance like the folks of Kingdom 93, who have multiple sets of alliances across the kingdom, can split their forces and decide, we are going to lose just as many troops as Solimar is, except that we are going to split it among 70 to 100 players versus the one player, and therefore the cost per individual will be so much lower that it is not only acceptable, but it's actually something everybody wants to be part of, zeroing the big boy player. So the first thing that needs to be said about zeroing a big player is the more rallies you have to spread the damage, the better. As this guy drops below 300 million, my goodness gracious, it's going down. In this second set of rallies, and there goes the tank rally and all the others cancel right behind it. In this second set, the main hit happened. The main damage really came to fruition. We saw 7.881 million troops dead on the Solimar side. 7.881 million troops, almost 7.9 million tier 5s gone. Kingdom 93 did pay a price as well. 5.567 million tier 4s and 5s deads on their side. But Solimars are strictly tier 5s, while the guys at 93 are subsidizing their losses with some tier 4 losses along the way, making things a bit cheaper. You can see Dragothian coming up next after this. Checking this report right here, Dragothian doing a good amount of damage with his rally right there. Not an expertised Edward yet, but level 60, very capable of leading this rally and doing the big boy damage that he did. What can be said? Where's the audacity? Where are these balls out of Kingdom 93 really? It's all a matter of coordinating well, preparing the hit well, timing the rallies correctly, and Godspeed. How do you time these many rallies correctly? There are a couple of mechanisms you can use to time rallies. Primarily, the one that I prefer the most and the one that works the most, I think it'll work for everybody who tries it, is you get an individual to teleport far away from where the rally leader is, and that individual joins with the one troop from afar away. When that happens, that individual has a 20-minute march towards the rally. While the rest of the rally gets filled up, the rally goes into waiting period, into the waiting part of the rally where it's essentially waiting for that one march that's far, far away. Now, unfortunately, knowing the timings of your march is a little bit difficult, but if you know that someone is a little bit ahead of you and you can release your rally, all you have to do really is to go into your rally setup and kick out of the rally the individual who is marching for 20 minutes. When that happens, you automatically go from waiting to marching and your rally launched. So essentially, the way this should have worked if they did it this way is the tank rally went out whenever it went out. The rest of the rallies were already ready and essentially waiting for their long march to make it in. And as soon as the tank rally hit, everybody released their timer march, releasing their rallies and releasing the Kraken and the madness of damage that we're seeing. This is the second set of reports. Boy, oh boy, lots of tier 4s on the 93 side, which is good. It's good. They're losing more troops per se, but it's cheaper for them to lose the tier 4s, even to lose 1.5 times the tier 4s, than to go out with tier 5s, which are much more expensive to build. They take longer to heal, much more expensive to heal. They're subsidizing with tier 4s, and I love it. They know that they gotta chew at Solomar slowly and steadily. 27 million troops remaining now. That means he's 7 million troops down and more coming. Nothing else can be said. We can just admire the beauty that is the coordination of Kingdom 93. A potential place I want to take my jumper into to see how crazy is the situation really out in Kingdom 93. We have to figure out a home for the jumper, a new home for the jumper. 93 was one of the options, and of course there are plenty of others. If you guys know where my jumper should go to, leave me a comment down below and let me know. And of course, did you believe Solomar would ever get zeroed? 400 million power player. Let's watch this without simplified graphics. Let's watch the madness of the full floor being red of marches, 93 marches. These guys never saved in troops or in rallies or in emotes, keeping things fresh on the open field while the rallies were doing the big boy damage on Solomar. 256 million power, 144 million down, and still going down more. This guy is getting zeroed, and when he gets zeroed, I don't know if he comes back from this, quite honestly. That's 35 million tier 5s that went out the window like that by a simple mistake. The folks from White Tigers may have, or at least from my understanding, should have ported out of Lost Kingdom from something like a couple days ago, if I'm not mistaken. Chesko said something about a few days ago or a week ago or something like that. But the folks from White Tigers are not even in here yet. They're not in Lost Kingdom. They don't have territory. They're out. They're done. Period. Solomar stayed back. No real reason why he did it. He just did. And apparently he was either asleep or traveling or busy. And, you know, his account got zeroed. The folks from 93 need to get a lot of credit for this. For multiple reasons. As Solomar is down to 219 million power. He's up 11 million kills, which is quite crazy. Even more than that. And he's definitely up on the death count to 15 million tier 5s dead. I'm getting sick just from talking about this. Third set of reports comes at you with a big boy loss by Solimar. 5.2 million tier 5s out the window for Solimar, while only 2.9-ish million troops went out the window for Kingdom 93, and a little bit of the help of Kingdom 16 as well, with the one out of those rallies being from Dragothian. Just keep losing more and more tier 5s than I've ever had troops all together in every single one of these rallies. That's cool, bro. All's good. I'm up with the reddest eyes in the universe because at 4 a.m. it is time to sit and watch our friend Solimar slowly and steadily go down to no troops. I don't even know what to say, quite frankly. I keep looking at the reports. I keep looking at the footage as I'm recording the commentary, and I'm sometimes left speechless. These guys don't only need to have the credit for having such big balls to actually go after the biggest player, but the way they organized it was really, really, really well done. Although they did have a little bit of hiccups, I did notice as they were setting up some people from 93 scouting Solimar, doing a little bit of, you know, trying to be a little bit of a nuisance, which is not ideal. It's not something you want to do. You don't want to wake him up by mistake with your one random scout that, you know, you had to get your scout in. But regardless, everything worked out. They slowly and steadily ported in closer their rally leaders. They set themselves up. A few people ported out. A few people ported in. Set themselves in the correct positioning. They did cancel the first set of rallies they tried to do because of mistiming the tank rally. And then I was sure Solimar logged in and they saw like extra helps or something like that. But apparently no, they just had mistimed the rallies and said, you know what? Stop, redo. Let's not start the biggest zeroing Rise of Kingdoms has seen to date with a mistake. And so it definitely was not in the plan. They took a step back, regrouped, redid their rallies, reset up. I got a call, hey, 3 minutes remaining on that rally for that rally to go. And so the rally went, we started recording, and the reports coming in was just, my God, all the losses and all the different pairings of commanders being used in all of these different hits. I hope you guys really appreciate the fact that we're going through all the hits, showing you guys all the troop buffs and all the compositions so you guys can see what kind of rallies were sent to zero an individual like Solimar, who are the commanders that are the preferred commanders when it comes to zeroing an individual. I'm not saying that all the rallies were 100% the best rally compositions that were available out there, best bang for your buck, best possible way to zero this guy. But I think that for the first individual that got zeroed that is insanely big, I mean, King Talib was a huge success. King Talib was 150 million power. Don't quote me on that one. And he was a pretty big player to bring down. But a 400 million power player is a little bit of an extra thing because it gets really hard to get rid of those last 12 million troops versus the first like 23. The first 23 million on Solimar went out like that. It took 4 sets of rallies to get rid of them, but the last 12 really took like a good 5 to 6 plus to get rid of, and that really is a big question mark, right? You'd think that the less troops he has, the more die and the quicker this ends. But no, it seemed that the more troops he had, the heavier losses were on Solimar's side. While as things progressed to lower and lower amounts of troops, first of all, less of them are getting dead, more of them are slightly wounded. And secondly, the ratio of kills and deaths per rally went really, really weird. Early on in the first 3 sets of major rallies, Solimar was losing a substantial amount more than the other side, with the exception of the tanking rally that was taking a huge hit. Other than that, all the other rallies were doing much better. But as time went by and Solimar drops below the 20 mil and then drops below the 12 million troops, it's clear that the losses the rallies are taking are more severe compared to the losses Solimar's taking, and it just takes much longer to zero him, which is why I'm saying zeroing King Talib was just as impressive. And King Talib, big shout out to him. He's back in the game. He's an influence in his alliance and in his kingdom, playing hard and doing big things for White Tigers. He came back from this, but him being zeroed technically hasn't even started yet in the Solimar scale. Solimar just now reaching the level that King Talib was, and you saw how hard it was to zero that. It seems like the extra Solimar had didn't really help as much as it should have. Quite frankly, the drop from 35 to 12 was faster than the drop from 12 to 4 million troops remaining overall. I don't know how that happens, considering the amount of troops and rallies that kept hitting Solimar even after he had 16 million troops and 11 million troops and so forth and so on was pretty much the same. Huge amounts of rallies all over the place. It still seemed like he dropped much faster with the more troops, which begs the question, are all the troops really working correctly? Is that a thing where it's actually you get hit harder when the more troops you have, and there is like a sweet spot where that's the amount of troops you want to have to really sustain as much damage for longer periods? In here, once again, Dragothian timing his rally from way far out there and timing it with perfection, hitting in. Look at the little circle of rallies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rallies, but bam, just going at Solimar below the 200 million power, now at 171 million, a loss of a staggering 219 million power. 219 million power. That's the amount of power our friend Misfit Lion King has right now. You see Lion King of 93 right there below Solimar. That's his total power. And that all went out the window in Solimar power, and Solimar still losing more and more. The game having its time, a little bit of a hard time refreshing. 21 million troops out the window, and yet again another nasty report. Again, now that the rallies are starting to get a little bit worse per se, the tank rally is doing decent. 350,000 deads compared to the millions it took in the first couple. But then look at the ratio right here. The ratio is not looking that pretty. The ratio wasn't that pretty when the big numbers were on the table as well. But 256 compared to 186, 293 compared to 130. That's a better result right there. But overall, it seemed again that the big numbers were coming out very, very early on, and it really took 93 quite a few extra rounds on top to zero Solimar entirely. We're gonna look through maybe one or two more of these waves, because I really want to give 93 as much credit, as much airtime as possible, showing an amazing achievement, an amazing achievement, zeroing out Solimar, taking a massive loss, right? These guys knew they were going to take a massive loss, but they did it for the record book. They did it for the glory. They did it for the bragging rights to have been the folks who zeroed the biggest player in the game to that point. Of course, I'm sure someone will come along and beat Solimar in terms of power one day, and one day there will be bigger zeroings. But for now, the folks from 93, major props for doing this, for finding the target, finding the gazelle sitting in the bushes, very kind of like not paying attention, and then the lions pounced and there was nothing Solimar could do while he's not online. So 146 million power and still coming down, still rallies hitting him left and right, and just an unbelievable achievement by 93. We're going to take a look at, I think, one or two more of these strips of just straight up rallies. And at the end, to give you guys the final picture of Solimar zeroed. Are there any lesson learned out of this? First and foremost, if your alliance said leave Lost Kingdom, probably a good idea to leave Lost Kingdom. Yes, you are the biggest player in the game, but still, as you can see, there are people with big boy balls, and they are not here to play around, and they definitely will zero you out if they get the chance to. Shout out to Kingdom 93 again. The other thing that should be learned here is the fact that the more rallies you have to spread out the damage, the better it is for your kingdom to be successful at these things. Also, because if you can coordinate 10 rallies at the same time to hit, that means you're taking half the time. 5 rallies would take twice to hit, and so you're mitigating the time to let your opponent get online and get that shield in. Even if only the 10 first rallies hit and then Solimar came online, that would have already been a massive loss by him. But now he's going so far down that for a moment he only had 1 million troops remaining when Hacksaw hit him. A few other folks hit him. He only had about 800k troops remaining active. The rest were slightly or severely wounded or deads. Mostly slightly wounded that came back into the fight. Again, another small swarm. Yet again, Dragothian joining from afar, and this time once again doing the damage and doing it big. Again, showing you guys the madness on the open field without the simplified graphics. But at this point, Solimar started burning, and the burn came time after time after time after time, and his power went down ever so slightly with every single wave of rallies that at some point went nuts. At some point it was 10 rallies, and then it went down to 2 rallies, and then even 1 rally, but then another 10 hit. It was madness. But at 131 million power, Solimar's almost down to where he needs to be as a zeroed player, unfortunately. As of the last time of me watching the game before starting to record, he was down under 80 million power, and I'm assuming by now he is zeroed. And by the end of this video, you guys will have an awesome image of his profile zeroed out with the death count and all that good stuff. So you'll definitely be able to know whether or not this was achieved by 93 or not. I am not going to stay up till 5 a.m. to wait for this to end to only then record and edit and all that. So we started ahead of time. Things are still going down as we speak, and rallies are still hitting until the very end when our friend Solimar will be zeroed, and Kingdom 93 will take the title as the guys who zeroed the biggest player in the game. And as of at this moment, he is zeroed with 53 million power remaining. Our friend Solimar is out of the picture. You'll see the footage in a moment on your screen, as well as the death count, all that good stuff. Absolute madness. Congratulations to Kingdom 93. Really congratulations. Shout out to Beta. I don't know if I said your name right. I apologize if I didn't. Beta. And of course, Lion King and the folks, Geo in there as well, and all the rally leaders who are part of doing this. Thank you guys for letting me know this was going down, and thank you for being so cooperative with reports and answering questions and letting me know when rallies are coming out. Big shout out to Kingdom 93 and to White Tigers as well as Solimar, who he might have gotten caught off guard, but this might not necessarily be the end of a mighty player who has been around for quite some time. And quite honestly, for him, this is not the end of the world. This is definitely not the end of the world. And as we're breezing through the last few reports, what else is there to say? Show you guys the end. And yeah, other than that, I'm Gekko. I'm out of here. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. Found it informative, helpful, useful, anything. Slap a like on the video. Share it with your alliance. I'd really appreciate it if you took a moment, share the videos with your alliance, get some folks into the channel, brand new viewers, brand new perspectives. I would really appreciate every single one of you who helped me out with a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course shared it with your alliance on Discord, alliance chat, Lost Kingdom chat. Spread the video out there. One last shot. In this final take, for some reason, like, it was a bit hard towards the end for the folks at AOC to time the rally because the rally was coming from way far, and Ronnie wasn't doing a much better job at that either. It was just too hard towards the end to synchronize all the rallies. It is what it is, but Dragothian had massive damage on most of the fight that happened throughout the time of the zeroing. Anyway, again, thank you all very much for all your continued support. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for being the most supportive community on Rise of Kingdoms. Take care. Have a great rest of your week. Peace.